One sec. Yo, I'm getting a call from my grandma. I'm
Oh
getting a
my
call from my
God,
grandma.
just don't answer it.
It's my grandma. Give me a sec.
Brother, I ignore my grandma all the time.
Yeah, that's fucked up. Hola, Yaya.
Really?
¿Es posible? ¿Cuál es día? Porque octubre 23, dices. Oh, you
Bro,
don't ignore your grandma. That's
I
like
do
fucked up.
all the time. I just call
Okay,
her
so I'll
back
just
later.
start. I'm ready.
All right.
Welcome back, everybody. NFL Week 3 predictions, clockwork from the Back Pocket Podcast. Per usual, we're back with our picks, and we got all four of us on this time. Very rare. It's been a good prediction season, at least for me recently. We have two other members, Surge and Dylan, who have not been doing so hot. Let's look at the stats so far for all four of us. Currently in first place, tied for first place, me and Charlie with 21 and 11. Charlie, how does it feel to be at the top
It
with
feels
me?
great. I feel like I'm right back to where I belong from a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
when
me
we
too.
did this.
'Cause I got
You
last year. It
sucked.
was,
You
Dylan,
were terrible.
You were
No,
I
terrible.
want to
were
go back and
terrible.
find one of those graphs.
Dylan,
I was.
you are
I've been
terrible
good the
where
past
you
2
were
years,
like
so I think this
20
year I
games
deserve
back.
a
You're
break.
terrible at everything else. You are the worst NFL draft analyst I've ever met in my life.
No.
You are.
Wow.
We've
Your
had
takes are
similar track
consistently-
records.
No.
We've had similar track records.
Also,
Yes.
I was bad the past year. You were third and a lot worse than they were. So it's basically
Okay, yeah, but
comparing
I was just
at
saying that
bad
you
with
were
bad.
terrible. No,
Yeah,
I
who-
wasn't saying anything about Serge or Charlie. They
I've
were
been
better
good
than me,
the
but
past
you
few
were
years. I've just
terrible.
been having a down
That's all
year.
I'm trying to say.
But you're terrible again. The difference is I have now
Okay,
changed.
I would say I'm bad. I would say I'm bad. You are terrible.
I'm
but
good now,
we'll-
though. What are you? You're
But
not
we'll
good
see
now.
how this goes. I don't know if that's fair based off 2 weeks, but we'll get into it.
Game number 1 tomorrow, 7:15, Jets Patriots. Look, this would be an easy one of our classic 3-2-1s. However, the Patriots decided to randomly beat the Bengals, so now I guess we kind of do have to talk about them as they have a win under their belt, and the Jets are awful. I don't know. The Jets will win this game. This will be, I think, a easier win. I don't think you can second guess this game, but I do think this will be a pretty boring game. I think this is a pretty uneventful Thursday night game.
I hate to say it. I actually think the Patriots are going to win this. It just feels like the most trap game ever just because of how badly we've defended the run in the first 2 games of the season. I know Dylan's smiling. The
Serge,
Dolphins
you
are
know you were
terrible, too.
7-9 last week.
No,
I don't know why
I'm
you
smiling because I agree.
No, okay, but either way. But I think their defense usually does well against our offense. I think it's going to be I agree, it's going to be a boring game to watch, but I think it's going to be one of the worst games to watch for me. So I think we'll lose this, actually. I think the Patriots will take it.
You know, I'm nodding and smiling just because I agree with your mindset here that this is a trap game for the Jets. They haven't really played well up to this point this year. The Patriots are their certified boogie team. So it's like
Bogey.
okay, my bad, Mr. Michigan professor. My bad. But
Yeah.
I'm whatever.
Yeah,
I
I'm with
think
that. I think this is going to be definitely a boring game, but the Jets are the better football team. I'm going to take the Jets in this one just because I think, yeah, it's a trap game, sure, but also the Jets are at home and the Patriots aren't that good. So I'm going to take the Jets.
I find it so funny, Charlie, that the two kids who are doing the worst, like you guys know the Jets are going to win this game.
We got to make up some ground.
I hope
this
they
is-
do, but
This is not where you
I
win.
honestly
You're either
think-
making up ground or you're
I
falling
think
even
we're
further
just
back.
no.
It's
There's
possible.
no depth. We have no edge rushers because Hassan Reddick's out, Jermaine Johnson's out for the year.
The lost
Like,
samurai.
You don't need edge rushers to beat the New England Patriots.
Yes, you do.
You just need a
like,
semi-competent team.
You need Aaron Rodgers.
the Bengals lost. The Patriots have not had a
The
terrible.
Bengals in week 1 and 2 with Joe Burrow are not a semi-competent team.
Yeah, they're pretty
fair.
bad. All right, we'll move
Okay.
on.
I finally found our records from a couple seasons ago.
yes.
From 3 seasons ago.
I'm
and-
first. I'm definitely first.
I'm in first place
Yeah,
with
Serge.
167 wins.
No.
Surge is in second with 162. Dylan's in third with 157. And Kean's in fourth with 152. 5 games
Dylan,
separating each of
shut
us.
your ass up.
No, okay. If I
Shut your ass up.
remember
oh my
correctly,
God,
if
bro.
I
I
remember
I thought I was in
correctly-
first. I can't
if
lie.
if I remember correctly, and this might just be a blind accusation, but I very much remember us having an argument about you fudging records that year. where you would come
I
up
actually
and
do
say,
remember that.
and
What?
yes,
I do
yes,
remember that.
Yes.
What?
Like,
We have video
yes.
evidence of it. How would I fudge if
Do
I
we
were to
wanna-
fudge records, first of all, and you cared that much, that would be on you because there's evidence that you could go back and then find.
That's
If you
what
are
I'm
new
saying.
here,
I
this
still-
is the professionalism you will get every single week. And
This is not a claim that you can make because you could have gone and checked. I did not fudge anything. I was in last.
But you were behind by a lot. But I'll leave
I
it
was
at that.
behind by
I was
5
not behind by
games.
a lot. It
But
was
I'll leave it at that
5
because I'm
games
not.
each gap.
You know what? I will leave it at that because I personally am not gonna go back through the videos and check it. I'll leave it at that because I still did finish ahead. There it is. But yeah,
It's embarrassing, though.
Nice.
That's embarrassing.
Cool.
That's embarrassing.
let's go on to
Giants,
the next game, shall we?
Browns. Giants, Browns. Another
Can we
boring
3-2
one.
on this one?
The New York. I don't think the Giants are 100% out of this. I'm not going to pick them to win, but the Browns I don't think are very good. Deshaun Watson is not a good quarterback.
Honestly, one of the few games the Giants might have a quarterback advantage in. Honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly, you can make the argument that Deshaun Watson's a better person than he is player.
I don't
Wow.
think anyone's going to make that argument.
That might not. That might, you know, the
Just
crazy
considering
thing
he
is
won a
you might not
national
even be
championship in
wrong.
college and went to the playoffs a couple of years
And raped
didn't win.
24 women.
Alright,
I mean,
so-
he's the top. Still, he's technically the top 1% in terms of football players, no matter what. So I
Yeah,
think, and he's definitely not. He's definitely not.
Yeah,
top
I wouldn't say
1%
he's top
person.
1% person. So yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I'm wrong.
But yeah,
You had to
I'm going with the Browns.
disprove
I'm
that?
going with the Browns here. They're better in both.
Dylan, you're on
trenches.
like broadcasts every week. You can't just say that.
You have
guess-
to put
I guess
allegedly.
at Amherst you
in
can
All
front.
right,
say
yeah,
that.
all right. Browns, we think is gonna win.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Browns are gonna
Browns.
win. Yeah.
Yeah, the
So
Browns.
basically, if you're new to the channel, I'm sure you've gathered that we know absolutely nothing about football, and we kind of just say things that don't matter at all to the actual sport. But we do.
That's
know what
part
we're
of the
talking
charm.
about.
That's part of the charm.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
why
I
we
will
do.
say, I think we've.
I'd
come
actually
out-
like to
we've
say
come
that
out
I'm-
firing.
I'd like to say that I'm actually the most educated football mind in the
Boo.
world.
Oh, shut up, tomatoes. No, you're not.
What'd you say?
Third place in a
You said
4-man prediction.
tomatoes?
Yeah, have you never heard that?
And always last
No.
place in our fantasy football league.
Yeah, Dylan. Oh my God, you are the worst. fan.
I've never claimed to be good at fantasy football.
You
No,
know, you're
like the
supposed to
thing
be
is,
in a
like
cage.
I might be bad at predictions. Like, all right, yeah, I was bad at predictions that one year, but you're bad at like everything that we measure. Like everything that we measure as a channel, you're
No,
I don't
you
think
no,
you've
your
ever
draft
won.
your draft
I'm
take is
not.
just not right. It's not
Yes, it
right.
is.
It's not
Yes,
right. No,
yes,
I
it is.
I have the same track record as you guys.
We need
with the
to
draft.
we need
No,
to do
no.
a video. We need to do a
We
video
do, we
reacting
do,
to our
we
big
do.
boards, like
Yeah,
our
I
big
agree with
boards
that.
in like
I agree
2022.
with that.
We need to just video react to everything.
Yeah.
Like we gotta go
Dead
through
ass.
and
Our
first
find
ever
some
video.
outrageous takes, like whatever. I will say
Yeah.
that I was the one who said that Nico Collins would be one of the top receivers in the NFL, and I'm kind of
Oh yeah,
smart.
yeah. You know
Yeah,
what?
you know, that's that.
Charlie
I'll,
gassed
gi-
him
I'll, gi-
Nico
I'll
from the
give you.
beginning,
I'll
so
give you your
him credit.
flowers for
That
that.
was-
Yeah.
that was-
Yeah,
That
but
was a
Charlie,
good
last year you also went on a streak of saying remember when Charlie said like my lock of the week and it was like Browns against the Ravens, and
Dude, he
Dylan
was
was like,
well,
"What are
yeah,
you?"
no. He
talking
said his
about?"
lock. He
that
said his
was-
lock of
it
the
was a
week was
misspeak.
the
It was a
Browns to beat the
misspeak.
Ravens, and then he said, "Well, actually, if the Ravens are at home, then
Yeah,
my
that-
lock of the week is the
misspoke. I
Ravens to
clearly
beat the Browns."
misspoke.
I'm
Come
like,
on.
"What are you?" All right,
No,
I actually
Charlie, it
have
was
to
like
leave at
three-
6.
Can we at least confirm that I got that one right? Like I don't remember, but I
No,
feel
you
like-
didn't.
I
You
know.
got
I
it
think
wrong.
you got that one wrong.
So funny. It was like it was like 3 videos in a row where Dylan would just be like, "Charlie, what are you talking about?"
Okay, but most of the time I was right. So it's
No, I
fine.
will
That's
say,
how
Charlie,
these
yeah.
videos-
All right, let's move on to the next one. Eagles against the Saints. I feel so
No.
unserious.
Yo,
I know this
This
one.
is
I feel like we need to re-record.
Yeah.
This one.
This is
This is a good game. I think the Saints are honestly the surprising team this year. I have to give my credit to Derek Carr. He has been phenomenal. I think offensively, that win against the Cowboys was incredible. They went in, played their style of football. This is a tough one. I want to pick the Saints, but I feel like everyone's going to pick the Saints because of how they've been playing. And I think this is where I create a gap if you guys don't pick the Saints. So I'm going to go Eagles. I think Eagles bounce back. Tough win against Atlanta. So I'm going to go Eagles.
yeah.
I
it
hope
feels
I
so
can create ground here.
It feels so weird to be scared to pick against the Saints based on what we expected to start the year, but I'm also going to pick the Eagles to win. I just think they're still really good in both trenches. I know they struggled on the defensive line last week, but I think they'll improve this week. And I think the Eagles will win this one. Although I think the Saints have really surprised people and they might make the playoffs this year for sure.
Yeah.
The Saints have scored on every offensive drive this
Yeah,
season.
that's insane.
I
Crazy.
can't in good conscience pick against a team that has not yet failed to score when they get the ball. The Eagles have not looked like themselves in the first 2 weeks of the season. Even in the game against the Packers, Jalen Hurts looked pretty shaky. Last week they lost to a Falcons team that was not able to beat the Steelers in week 1, and the Steelers didn't score a
Respect the
touchdown.
Steelers though.
No, the Steelers
Mike
defense is
Tomlin, Devil
phenomenal,
Magic.
but no, for sure. But I'm gonna pick the Saints here because I have absolutely no reason not to.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with you, Dylan. I think that also what the Saints are doing, it's not just to anybody. They dismantled one of the best defenses in the entire NFL last week in the Dallas Cowboys, which nobody saw coming, and they really do have a great defense. So I'm gonna go back to back and pick the Saints, especially considering the Eagles defense looks really poor against a Falcons team that's not great.
You got to see that Vic
And
Fangio 2-minute drill in action.
I mean, okay, to be fair, any other corner on the last play of the game, and it's more of a contest. That was some awful defending by Darius Slay.
Nah, he
It
did
was
said
really
good
poor.
job.
And then he was laughing about
Good
it
route,
after the
my
game.
boy.
Like, I don't understand. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick the Saints because I don't think the Eagles defense is gonna be I don't think any defense in the NFL is good enough to stop the Saints right now. That can change. But right now, give me the Saints.
All right, I like that. We got a little variation there. We'll move on to the next one. Texans, Vikings, this is a better game. Obviously, the Vikings coming out firing weirdly 2-0 to start the season, as well as Houston. Again, I think this is another don't overthink it. I think this is extremely similar to the Eagles Saints game. I'm going to go Texans because I think the Texans are a better team. I think Stroud's a better quarterback, and I think they have more weapons. I think they're better on both sides of the ball. And I think Darnold the Minnesota has a weird way of making average quarterbacks like
They're
kind of
like
good.
they're like San Francisco, I feel like, with
Yeah.
like in
It's so
the way
common.
they're
So I think again, for me, this is a not overthink. I think this is a Texans win. I think we could see a big Texans win here where we kind of see, okay, yeah, the Vikings are not all that.
Yeah, I really wanted to pick the Vikings in this game, and I do think it'll be very defensive based on how Brian Flores' defense have come out of the gate and been really good. I think the difference in this game is going to be Nico Collins and Stephon Diggs are going to make plays for CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud is going to make plays by himself. So I think the Texans win this one very close. I think this is a very 50-50 game for me.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with the Texans, but I don't think for a second that the Vikings aren't going to be a force down the line because I don't think Sam Darnold wrote back. And I also think that
Next, Gino.
I also think that the Vikings defense, headed by Brian Flores, as much as it makes my blood boil, is going to be a very difficult defense to play against for pretty much anyone. I mean, you saw Purdy talking up to Flores. He's like, these schemes are crazy, and they are. But you have Justin Jefferson on your team, so you're automatically going to get a bunch of production. But that being said, I'm going with the Texans as I think they are one of the best teams in the league. I think Stroud is the second best quarterback in the league, and I'll leave it at that.
I like that becoming the status quo.
Yeah,
with
I'm
Stroud.
also gonna take the Texans because I think right now they're a more complete football team, but the Vikings, and I will just say, like, I want to just give Sam Darnold his props because that is a guy who looks completely revitalized. It's not just that the Vikings look okay and they're surviving with their injuries. Sam Darnold looks really good. Sam Darnold looks like he was meant to be there, and that's why he was drafted, pick number 3 overall, all the 7 years ago that he was. But
7 years
the
ago,
quarterback play,
it's
the
true.
quarterback play for the Texans is still better because Dylan, I might agree with you. I might agree that CJ Stroud is the second best quarterback in the league. We're gonna see this season. It's gonna be a big deal. It's gonna be a progressing storyline because CJ Stroud absolutely should be in the conversation for it.
All right, we'll move on to the next game where we have Broncos.
Oh,
All right, so we'll move on to the next one. I think I already said that. Broncos, Buccaneers. Look, speaking of giving credit to quarterbacks that they thought were out, Baker Mayfield, who was a guy who we've given the credit to last year as well, but I think he's been absolutely fantastic for Tampa Bay. The win against Detroit in Detroit was incredible. I thought that was nothing short of incredible. I thought Baker especially that run. He just took the game and put it on his shoulders. So I'm gonna go Buccaneers here. I'm not a big Bo Nix hater, which is weird because I was during the draft process. So I think this is a convincing Buccaneers win for me. I think they're on the way to the playoffs.
Yeah, let it be known. My hot take before the season: Bucks win 12 games, and it's looking good so far. And yeah, the Broncos are terrible. I don't know why anyone had any hype for them. Bucks win this one easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I actually do like Bo Nix because I think he kind of looks the part in the quarterback position in an offense. Not numbers wise or gameplay wise. He just physically looks the part. I'm not talking about his looks. I'm talking about the way he plays. Looks like a quarterback in the NFL, but he then throws the ball to the other team a few times a game. So
I
you never
love
know.
when Charlie says things and Dylan is just like,
It's just like his reaction is just like, what?
so you're supposed to have your camera on, sir. It's kind of the
Oh, my
point of
fault.
our podcast.
Come on, Serge Andres Codelli.
Yo, just
Yes.
yo,
I'm
You're
just gonna say. But I will take the Bucks pretty handedly in this one.
Yep, this is my lock of the week. I disagree with everything you said about Bo Nix. I think he's terrible, and I think the
I didn't
Bucks
say
made a
anything about
mistake,
Bo
and
Nix.
it's good.
That's not going to make the
12
final
pick
cut.
overall.
I mean,
It's
Dylan, Peyton
he's-
Manning was awful his first 3 starts.
Okay, but Peyton Manning
Okay,
wasn't
I
the
kinda-
first pick in the NFL
I
draft.
kind of
and
hate.
wasn't
I kind of
considered an
hate
amazing
myself that I
prospect.
just compared him to Peyton Manning because I literally don't like Bo
Oh
Nix as
my
a
God.
quarterback.
Yeah, so see
but-
now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take that, and every time that something is
No.
said
Dylan,
that's
you
slightly
said
disagreed
Tua
with-
was Brady. You
and
can never.
you just
I
you
will
just
say
said
Yeah,
this
actually,
every
no,
time.
no,
that's
You
true.
can
Also,
never
said that
come
Bo
back
Nix
from
is
it.
Peyton Manning.
Also,
You just said Bo Nix
said
is
it
Peyton
and
Manning.
then took it back.
And then you also said the thing about God. Oh my God, Dylan.
But
Don't
anyway,
even get
I
me
have
started.
I have the Bucks winning. It's my lock of the week. So
Right, I like
Yeah.
that. I like that.
it's not a close game. The Broncos are terrible. The Bucks
Are the
good,
Broncos
so.
playing the Panthers this year?
I don't know, but I won't
Because
be
that's
I
watching.
know
some of
the Broncos
only
are
games
playing.
I can see them winning.
But the Giants are.
Ooh,
German
and that's
fans
like
have
that's in
respect.
Germany too,
I
right?
know.
That's
They
like
have
the
a
one
spectacle.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
We'll move on to the
Gonna be
next
a
one, which
win.
is a game I actually am very interested about. We get to see Malik Willis go back to Tennessee after having.
Love could
Okay.
play.
Ooh, what a story.
Oh, is Love
I think
healthy for this one?
I think Love's gonna play. Yeah.
How? He's
I don't think
strained his
he will, but
Achilles.
I
That's like a
think-
several week injury.
LaFleur said he's keeping options open. So
Serge,
I don't know how it's gonna-
I would be extremely surprised if Love played, especially in a Titans game where I think is similar to the Colts. I think they could win. With Willis. Look, Willis looked a guy who, when we scouted for that draft, we were not high on any of the quarterbacks. I think it was either Corral. I had Willis as my QB1. It was like Corral. Oh no, we had Howell.
I had Sam Howell. Yeah.
I had
I
Sam
think-
Howell, yeah.
I had Willis.
Which I mean, we can't really get mad at either of us. For any
None of them
us. I
were
think the
good,
take-
other
they were
than
all really
Purdy,
bad.
but no one could have predicted
Yeah.
Purdy. to
Who
be
is the
good.
Yeah.
best quarterback of that class that was a top
Purdy.
5 in that,
Oh.
of the top 5?
Probably Willis right now because he's starting.
I mean, I
would-
think Howell,
Howell,
probably,
probably.
right? But
But
none of
you've
them were
also
good.
got like Kenny Pickett played a few games.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
but he was
know.
bad.
He was
Yeah,
terrible.
but so was Howell.
You have Ritter in there, but
Zappy.
Damn, they all sucked.
yeah, they're all
Holy
terrible.
Oh.
That was a weird draft here. That was a weird draft.
Although
Here.
to be fair,
Trayvon
NFL teams,
Walker, number
Dude,
1.
to
He's
be
not even that
fair,
bad. He's just
to-
not
no,
the first
guys,
overall
guys.
pick.
To be fair though, NFL teams were on top of that. Quarterbacks were not drafted that year.
I know, yeah, we know, but it was
Yeah.
just a weird year.
I think
'cause
we
it's-
all sort of thought that they would be drafted anyway, but NFL
Yeah.
teams were like,
Yeah.
no, these guys aren't that good.
There
So
wasn't a guy to the 3rd round.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think it's a Packers win. This is a very tough pick though. I like this. I feel like is maybe one that will, like maybe we all go Packers and Titans win. But look, I like Levis. I think Levis is a good quarterback. You look what the coach said. He's a grown man. The mistakes that he's made twice in a row against the Jets, and then last week are just mistakes as a quarterback you can't make. So yeah, I think it's a Packers win. It's in Tennessee. Tough one for me. Tough one, but I'm gonna go Packers.
I say Titans. I think the Titans defense is better than the Colts defense. More importantly, it's more healthy than the Colts defense. And I think that's going to be the difference. They're not going to be able to run the ball like 40 times a game like they were able to last week.
Oh.
So I think give me Tennessee. I think Will Levis, he's not gonna turn the ball over. I think that's gonna be his focus, and I think it's gonna win this game for Tennessee.
yeah, I'll also take the Titans in this one. I think I could definitely see this one going to the Packers, but especially if Jordan Love is not playing for a second week in a row, uh, I'll take the Titans because I think the Colts were just far too erratic of a team last week, and they really shot themselves in the foot. The Packers didn't do anything too strong last week, so I'll take the Titans because I think they'll play a much more mistake-free game. Assuming Will Levis improves.
I'm sticking with Green Bay. I don't think the Titans have shown anything that constitutes competent offense this season. They would have won the game against Chicago had they done anything in the second half. Their touchdown against the Jets came off of a fluke defensive not deflection that managed to fall into Ridley's hands. I don't think that this team is good, and I think that Malik Willis or Jordan Love wins this game for the Packers.
I like it. All right, there we go. I like that. Splits down the middle, so that'll cause some separation in the standings. We'll move on to the Bears and Colts. Look, Caleb Williams is getting, obviously a lot of hate. Not hate, I guess, just a lot of criticism, as any rookie would be after having that performance, which I didn't think was particularly awful. It wasn't good.
It was really bad.
Yeah, Charlie's just not a Caleb guy.
Look, I'm
Charlie's just
I'm not a Caleb Williams
fan.
fan. I don't think Caleb Williams is all that he's cracked up to be, but I also think that anytime he does something good, people react too much, and anytime he does something bad, people react too much. So there's
That's
some
true.
middle ground here. He has not been good. There's no way to sugarcoat that, but it's the first 2 games of his career.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. I'm gonna go the Bears this game. I think with the Colts losing DeForest Buckner on the defensive line, and he's gonna face a lot less pressure. I thought their defense has been very good. And Anthony Richardson, I like him as a prospect, but he's still gonna take a little bit more time. And I think the Bears. I think Caleb's gonna be better in this game. I think give me the Bears in this one.
I'm
Yeah.
actually going to take the Colts because I think that they just run a much more dynamic offense. And I think if the Colts can get any sort of pass rush on Williams, it'll be an easy defensive day. And after seeing, what was done to Caleb Williams last week, I expect they'll be sending 6 or 7 players on every single play. And I don't see why they shouldn't.
So I'm conflicted here because I think Caleb has to have his game somewhat soon. And I don't know if it's going to be this week because, again, this is going to be a really hard game for them to deal with a pretty solid defense. But you know what? I will go Bears. I will go Bears. I think time has to come for them. I believe in what Caleb Williams can do inside and outside the pocket. Keenan Allen should be healthy and able to play. I'll stick with the Bears here.
Yeah, I like the Bears front seven enough to hold this Colts running attack, which isn't much. And I think that what the Colts have is Anthony Richardson, as erratic as he is, has an insane arm when he places it right. And I think you look at that and then look at the Bears secondary that I think is criminally underrated. Jalen Johnson, I think, is one of the best cornerbacks in the league. Tyreek Stevenson is one of the best slots in the league. Jaquan Brisker is an incredibly good safety.
Yep.
So I like this. I like the matchup. And as someone who's competing for Charlie at the top, I'm going to go Bears. But I was going to go Bears anyway. But Charlie, this is a big one for Charlie. If this one turns the other way, which I think Charlie had those kind of games the season ago, retracted.
We have
Charlie,
I think
this is a good one.
Four splits already.
This is going to cause some separation this week.
This is going to cause some separation. Week, yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
We'll move on to the next matchup: Chargers, Steelers. Chargers, who finally seem to be playing up to expectations, kind of. Obviously undefeated in the Steelers as well, who have been playing very well. Even Big Ben said he thinks that they should keep Justin even if Russell is healthy, which I don't completely disagree with. This is a tougher one for me. I'm gonna go Chargers because I think the Steelers have gotten lucky matchup wise. I don't think they can go shot for shot with LA. So that's why I'm gonna go Chargers. This is another tough one. I think we'll split again here. This is a tough one for me.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with the Steelers keeping Justin Fields. I think his rushing ability compared to Russ at this stage in his career makes him a much better option for this offense. That being said, I'm agree with you, Kean. I'm gonna go Chargers as well.
Another split.
I agree with you with the matchup thing because I think with Joe Alden, Rashawn Slater already being one of the best tackle duos in the league, they can
Highest
slow down
rated last
TJ
week.
Watt, Alex Highsmith, even Nick Herbig, who's also very good. I think they're going to run the ball more, which doesn't really suit as much to what the Steelers want their opponent to do, which is pass the ball. And I think the Chargers defense, which has also looked really good under Jesse Minter, I think is going to have another great performance. So I think the Chargers win this one.
Make
Yeah,
no mis-
yeah, go ahead.
Which order are we going in? Because I feel like we've done this a lot now.
It'll just go me, Surge, Dylan, Charlie.
Just
Yeah.
talk if you feel like it.
All right.
Yeah.
Make no mistake. I think that Justin Fields has had a bad start to the season. They have not looked good on offense this year. They didn't score a touchdown in the first game.
I mean, he had a 70-yard touchdown called back because Broderick Jones held the
Broderick Jones's holding needs to be talked about. By the way, this guy he got pulled against Denver. I watched that full game and I did not think that he looked impressive in the slightest.
No one did.
Justin Fields, but I'm gonna stick with the Steelers just because this defense has not shown that they have a chink in their armor. The secondary was supposed to be the problem going into this year, and they look unbelievable up to this point. Like Dante Jackson looks great, and JPJ looks great. There's so much good on the Steelers. Minka is always amazing. And then TJ Watt might just be the most impactful player in football right now, other than Patrick Mahomes. So I'm going to go with the Steelers to beat what I still think is a relatively weak Chargers team.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you on the Steelers. I think another split right here.
This is going to be huge this week.
Oh my
I
God.
think the Steelers are, look, this is 2-2-0 teams, and it's going to be could potentially be a big matchup down the road. That being said, the Chargers have played against, two of the worst teams in the NFL in the Panthers and the Raiders, and the Steelers have played against also potentially two of the worst teams in the NFL in the Broncos and the Falcons. Now, I don't think the Falcons will be in that category, but so far they haven't looked anything great. Both of these teams have not let up very many points. I think the two best defenses points-wise in the league so far. I'm going to take the Steelers because I think their defense just as a whole is a little bit better because they always run really, really strong defenses. And I think the Chargers won't be able to move the ball on the ground as easily as they have in the last few weeks. Dobbins won't have another 130-yard game. It won't happen.
All right, we'll move on to the next one. Dolphins, Seahawks. Obviously a game that is, obviously with what happened to Tua, who knows what his future holds, whether that's in football or not. But we know for next week he will not be playing. You have Skylar Thompson back there who isn't the worst. And I want to go Dolphins so badly because I know that you guys have gone Seahawks. Because I think the Dolphins can win. I seriously think the Dolphins can win this game. But it's just hard for me to, it's always hard to pick with the backup quarterback starting against a Seahawks team that's not bad. I think just, you kind of look at it is are they going to be able to get the ball to Tyreek Hill? Because I genuinely think this is not an extremely good, Seahawks secondary. It's a secondary that, Tyreek Woolen was fantastic his rookie year and kind of hasn't been amazing since. But Dylan, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm gonna kind of pass it to you. Just what your thoughts as a Dolphins fan are, because I seriously want to pick them here. But this is a tough one.
So this week, the Dolphins are not going to win. I'll start off by saying the Dolphins are not going to win this weekend. I think even if Skylar Thompson played behind a healthy offensive line, there would be a chance. But not only did Tua go down, Armstead went down, Rob Jones went down, Aaron Brewer went down. He might play, he might not. So that's already 3 starting linemen, Mostert, and then you have Hill and Waddle on each side playing against 2. I still think Woolen is a great corner, and then Devin Witherspoon, another phenomenal corner. So you're taking away the best assets of the team. You have Skylar Thompson in at quarterback, which is as bad of a downgrade as you're going to get. I'd
say it's an upgrade, honestly.
But
I mean, the way Tua's been playing.
It's a Seahawks win, as unfortunate as that is. That being said, it's not over for the Dolphins season. Tua is expected to come back week 8, and
God, I hope not.
From there, I mean, it's his decision on what he's gonna do. I've taken my emotion out of it. Whatever he decides, I'll stand behind. But
how many tissue boxes did you go through?
Actually, none. I just went on a 5-hour depression walk. It was maybe I called Surge once.
Yeah, yeah. And then he just
Maybe,
went AWOL.
yeah, I it was crazy because I went into this tree. There's this tree that has like leaves that drape down, so it's like you're kind of hiding in a tree. And I was sitting in there for like an hour, and a bunch of people walked into the tree, and then they're like, "Oh my God, there's a person there."
Who's
Then
the weird guy crying in the tree?
I wasn't
The weird
crying.
guy
I was.
crying and staring at a
I had.
poster of a
It's okay.
player.
There is crying in
I
football,
had.
Dylan.
I had Artist by A Boogie, the album, just on my phone. It was bad, but give me the Seahawks. We'll move on.
Yeah, and more football related discussions. I'm gonna say Seahawks as well. I
Me too.
think what Gino did against that Patriots defense, going for over 300 yards in a league that now is very hard to go over 300 yards, I think was very impressive. I think they're gonna be able to run the ball relatively well as well in this game, and obviously Dylan knows how you guys all know really how much of a fan I am of Mike McDonald. So I think that defense is going to do well against Skylar Thompson. So yeah, give me Seahawks.
Yeah,
Mike
I
McDaniel
think
versus Mike McDonald.
um I think that
Exactly.
I'll also give this one to the Seahawks, and I do think the Dolphins season is relatively over. I don't want to count them out and say that they're going to lose every game from the rest of the season, because when you have a team that has, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and Devin Achan, you never know, because the game plan could just be run the ball every time, just sometimes to Hill and sometimes to Achan and sometimes to Waddle. You never know. But in this one, it's going to be a tough rebound week for them after what happened to Tua last week. So I'll take the Seahawks.
All right, we'll move on to the next one, which is game of the week: Panthers Raiders.
Ooh.
Seriously,
I mean,
I
the
just
Raiders
think,
in. I mean, the Raiders beat the Ravens.
Let's
To be
1, 2,
fair.
3 it. Honestly,
yeah,
like
I wouldn't be, but Dylan, the thing is though, I wouldn't be surprised if the Panthers won, and then we're like, oh
I
my
would.
god,
I mean, hey, backup
it's
quarterback,
just Andy
backup
Dalton. It's
quarterback.
just
Yeah, I
Andy
know,
Dalton.
but
That's the thing. Like that's the thing. I think it's a good thing for them.
no, that's what I'm
Like
saying. Like backup
they're
quarterback
starting
bounce is
Andy
real.
Dalton.
yeah.
Hey, as far as backup
No,
quarterbacks
Andy
go, you could
Dalton's
do
butt.
worse. No.
Well,
Did you
Bryce
guys know
Young,
that
like
Did you guys know that
Bro,
Bryce
the
Young
Bryce Young
was
has nothing.
horrible.
Bryce Young has actually nothing.
Guys, the
Yeah, the
Saints
one
have
thing that he
scored
had,
seven
like
times more
accuracy is
points than the
completely gone. His
Panthers so
poise
far
is
this
completely
season?
gone. His vision isn't there. It's
Yeah,
rough
all
for
right. So
Bryce.
Raiders on
Yeah,
3-2 on me. All Raiders.
Yeah,
Raiders.
the Raiders.
Raiders.
Next game, actually very good game. Potential, one of the games of the week. Oh, we're going into a good stretch here. Niners Rams, tough one. No McCaffrey for San Francisco. Lost last week.
But no Cup and no Puka
No
for the
Cup
Rams.
or Puka for the Rams.
Yeah.
No
I,
Debo for
I
the Niners
No
as
Debo.
well. So it's
holy
basically the
it's
injury
an
bowl.
injury bowl, yeah.
Yeah.
But
And the
I
Rams are also
completely,
missing 3 starters on the
I actually
offensive line. They're
completely,
missing Avila. They're missing
I
Jonah
actually,
Jackson.
yeah.
They're missing their left tackle. I mean,
I
it's
actually
rough.
completely forgot about. I forgot Cup is injured, and I forgot Nakua is out also. Yeah, I don't know. I still think the Rams could win, but I'm gonna go Niners. Yeah,
Yeah.
damn.
The
This
only
will be a
way
disappointing kind of matchup. Compare,
for me, the only way the Rams win is if Stafford goes full hero ball and just has a
Yeah.
legendary performance, which is possible. But I think the Niners are
throwing
still, with
to
their injuries, a
Kobe
better
Parkinson.
team. DeMarcus Robinson, to be fair,
Oh, that's not
better
what
than
you think it
Colby
is.
Parkinson, but
Maybe.
probably.
Is he
Which is
better?
sure.
Making a
but-
point now, guys. The
is-
Niners are going to win this one. Let's.
Is
Niners
he-
are winning
yeah.
this.
Is he better than Dylan? What's the guy that was on the Redskins? What was his name?
Steven Sims.
Steven Sims.
I
Where
saw
is
him
he
return
now?
a punt against he's a punt returner for the Texans.
There you go, man. Good for
Good
him.
job, man. Remember, he scored a didn't he score a touchdown
scored
one of
a
the
playoff
playoff
touchdown.
games?
He
And
scored a
then
playoff
the
touchdown,
chat
yeah.
just went crazy like Steven Sims. Oh my
All
god.
right, so we have Niners across the board. Next one, great game. Cardinals, Lions. Welcome to the NFL, Marvin Harrison, after having an absolutely incredible week last week. I played him in fantasy, and I was watching the game, and I was like, oh my God. It was just catch. And then for, being the classic good player, stereotype, he has a incredible game and then is mad that Kyler targeted him 2 other times and he didn't get the catch. He's like, yeah, I got to work on that. Come on, man. He had like 160 yards, 2 touchdowns. Great game from him. I expect it's a good line secondary. This is a tough one. I'm going to go Lions bounce back, but this is a tough one. I'm going to go Lions. Genuinely, I want to go Cardinals, but I don't think the Lions will lose twice in a row.
Yeah, I think the Cardinals are a fun team and they're going to be like fun to watch every week. But I think that defensive line is just overmatched against the Lions' offensive line, and I think the Lions' defense has also gotten better from last year. And I think they're gonna slow down the Cardinals' offense. So yeah, I think so. I think Lions.
Yeah, I also have the Lions. I'd like to talk more at length when we have the time to about Marvin Harrison because I think that that serves up to be a really interesting and fun discussion. But for now, I'm just gonna go with the Lions. And yeah, I'd agree. Just the Cardinals' defensive line is not gonna touch Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Yeah, although Jared Goff has been really poor this year to start the season, and the
Mhm.
Lions have not been great. Their best player's probably been David Montgomery, and then surprise, Jameson Williams has 200 yards this year already. Um, I will also take the Lions. I think it'll be close in Arizona. The Lions are, I believe, 3-point favorites right now. I will take the Lions and leave it with Malik is better than Marv.
There we go. Oh,
Let's move on.
I like that, Charlie.
All right. All right.
Everyone agrees also. We'll
Mhm.
move
It's not
on.
a bad take.
I know.
It's
I mean,
true.
they both had great weeks. We'll move on to the next one, potentially game of the week, scoring wise. The Ravens, who just lost to the Raiders, facing off against the Cowboys, who had an embarrassing loss as well. So both teams looking to bounce back, both powerhouses in the league. I think it's a Ravens win, but Dallas just might have that game where they just explode. They just might. They just might. And the Ravens losing to the Raiders at home is extremely concerning. Extremely concerning. Low scoring, looked bad. Lamar looked bad. Defensively, they looked really bad, especially against a Raiders team that exposed them in ways that if the Raiders can do it, what can the Chiefs do? I think it'll be a Ravens win, but I'm very torn on this one. I'm very torn on this one.
Yeah, no, I'm also really like kind of back and forth. I think I'm picking the Ravens mainly because there's no way they start 0-3. They're going to be playing so desperate. And we've seen the Cowboys kind of they're a very on and off team, which makes you think again at home they could go crazy. But I think Roquan's gonna have a good game. I feel like the Ravens defense, which actually I don't even think was that bad against the Raiders, they just kept on getting on the field because that Ravens offensive line is just terrible. But I think the Ravens will hold on. I think Lamar's gonna have a great game. So give me the Ravens.
I think this might just be a bad game. I think both of these teams are in a little bit of a rut, and I don't see them getting out of it anytime particularly soon. The Cowboys, CeeDee Lamb missed practice today. He hasn't been his full self this season. As to this point, he had one big grab last week, but without a fully healthy CeeDee Lamb and without Dak Prescott really showing anything to start, I'm gonna go with the Ravens just because Lamar Jackson's a little bit more proven. I think that they're the better team just on paper, but both of these teams have looked pretty bad to start the year.
I'm very torn on this one because these are two teams that were expected to be very good football teams because they have been very good football teams in the last few years and have both not looked great. The really surprising thing to me is that I'm looking at the game on ESPN and the Ravens, the 0-2 Baltimore Ravens are favorites in Dallas to win this game, which is just surprising to me. I don't find it surprising that the Ravens are favorites. It's just the fact that the odds makers put the 0-2 team away against a very good team is as favorites is surprising to me. And I am going to take the Cowboys. I'm going to disagree with all of you on this one. I think,
Uh-oh.
look, there's a reason the Ravens are 0-2 to start the season. That's because they haven't looked particularly impressive. And the Cowboys at least won one. And the Ravens offense, defense, they haven't been great. I know the defense hasn't been awful, but losing to the Raiders is at a certain point. It's not just the offense's fault. So I'm going to take the Cowboys.
All right, we'll move on. Sunday night football, Chiefs, Falcons. A game that I think we all think the Chiefs will win. However, the Falcons obviously coming off a great win in Philadelphia. Obviously, Bijan looked incredible. It was a good win, like genuinely good win from Atlanta. A game that I don't think was super shocking that they won because the Eagles always have those kind of games. But I think the Chiefs will bring them back to reality here. I think this is an easy Chiefs win.
Yeah, I think Chiefs win too. Although Mahomes hasn't been great to start the season. I think he's like 17th in QBR. So he hasn't had so I think he might continue that slow start in this game, at least to start it. But I think the Chiefs front is gonna get a lot more pressure than the Eagles did against Kirk Cousins, who still looks like he's recovering from that Achilles injury. So I think the Chiefs win this one.
So no Isaiah Pacheco in this one makes it a little bit more difficult for the Chiefs, but the name of the game is going to be speed. And while I really do think that the Falcons have done a good job in reconstructing their defense, it's not quick enough to handle a guy like Xavier Worthy.
Hmm.
I think that's going to be the X factor in this game. I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
Or
Yeah,
Rasheed
I'm
Rice, I
gonna
think.
agree. I'm gonna take the Chiefs in this one because Kirk Cousins does not look fully healthy, and I like Bijan Robinson. I like Drake London.
All right, we'll move on
Yeah.
to there's two Monday night games. Who
Yep.
would have
Hmm.
known? Two Monday night games. First one,
I don't understand why.
Jaguars. I know. Jaguars, Bills. A game that I think the Bills will win. But yeah, it's just the Jaguars haven't looked. Trevor Lawrence, I think will be can we say I think will be a good quarterback? I don't know where we're at with Trevor Lawrence, but I think it's a Bills win. I will say I heavily underestimated the Bills. I thought they were going to be like an average NFL team. But they've proven to kind of not falling behind too much. So I'm gonna go Bills here.
Yeah, I think although it's kind of the Jaguars have been in a trap game for the Bills in previous years.
Yeah.
I think the Bills under Joe Brady have been a lot more kind of good against the teams that they should be, and I think that's going to continue here. So give me the Bills.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Buffalo just because Jacksonville haven't looked good up to this point. I do think that we are seeing an inflated sense of where Buffalo have had two wins that I wouldn't say were particularly impressive. I think that Arizona beat themselves, Miami were awful, and Buffalo kind of just came out and won those games. But I wouldn't say it's on their own merit so much as it's the other teams playing badly. I'm gonna
Courage, bro. Laugh. It's good for the heart.
yeah. So yeah, so even though I don't think Buffalo's looked as strong, I am still going to pick them against Jacksonville because they lost to the Browns, and the Browns don't look good, and they lost to the Dolphins, and the Dolphins don't look good. So I'll go with Buffalo. Yes, so I will go with the Bills.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you, and I'm gonna just say I wouldn't discredit the Bills so much. I do think the Bills have actually looked pretty good. I know that they haven't necessarily deserved all. Stop. Yeah, but I think that the Bills have looked good, and they haven't necessarily deserved everything they've gotten in the last 2 weeks. But I think early season, Josh Allen is probably my MVP pick after the first 2 weeks. So I'm gonna take the Bills with relative ease in this one.
Good pick. All right. We'll move on to the next game. Last game of the week. Commanders, Bengals. All right, Commanders, Bengals. Do you think this is 3-2-1 worthy?
No, I don't.
You don't think so?
I kind of do,
The
but
Bengals are
think
0
it
2.
is.
It's not.
yeah, but the Commanders are not good at all
I wouldn't even say that. Jaden Daniels looks really, really good.
against your terrible defense.
No. In both games, he's 40 of 53 right now.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I think it was the only quarterback to have 500 plus yards in 2 weeks and no turnovers ever.
Yeah.
Um, I, I don't think this is a 3-2-1. I will say I'm gonna pick the Bengals, but I don't think this is a 3-2-1 by any means.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
But I feel like that Chiefs game, the Bengals were right there.
Yeah,
They were. They were.
Yeah.
yeah,
Sure.
no, I think Bengals win this one pretty comfortably. I think Commanders defense is just not equipped at all to handle the firepower of the Bengals offense. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with the Bengals here. The Bengals played a good game against the Chiefs, and as much as a loss to the Patriots in week one is not something to bring up in a positive light, their defense did look good in both weeks this season. So I think I'll go with the Bengals here pretty comfortably.
Yeah. Yeah, so all right, we're going to thank you all so much for watching and listening. We will see you all next week for predictions. I believe we'll be getting another video out this week. This is a good one. We had a lot of back and forth, a lot of non-football related things, but we hope you all did enjoy. And we will see you all in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.